welcome to Book Talks with Sandy. Yeah, y'all, I'm here on a Sunday afternoon. I am so excited to be with you. Thank you for tuning in to Book Talks with Sandy. It is a platform that is for authors, visionary authors, and most of all, I say that it is for you. Why do I say that? Why? Because you just might be looking for a good book to read. I am Sandy Sanders, your host and producer of Book Talks with Sandy, and we are brought to you by Coffee Conversation with Sandy and Friends. Listen, guys, I am elated. I'm excited. We were just here yesterday. This is our author tour weekend. We're ending the month with a couple of author tours, and I've had some phenomenal visionary authors that have joined the tour. So yesterday you had the privilege of hearing about some phenomenal women, Pastor Geneva, D. Ashley, and the women that are in the book Shattered to Shine, book on domestic violence. And so again, if you all are looking to be a part of an anthology book project, go back and look at the replay, but it's Geneva D. Ashley. You can find her anywhere on Facebook. And and so if you're looking to be a part of that book project. Well, today is today too, and this is our Sunday afternoon. I hope you guys got your coffee and everything. So this afternoon, I am delighted to have this great woman of God with me on this afternoon. I feel like that it is it's like a circle. We've come back around. She is amazing, phenomenal. You all saw the flyer, and you may have seen her and know a lot about her because she's big on doing these teaching moments. And we're talking about, yes, I'm calling her doctor in advance, but she is, yes, Crystal Cunningham out of Atlanta. And she is the CEO of Crystal Clear Communications and Consulting. I'm going to now bring her on, and her new book. Well, this is not the new one. This one is before, but it is No More Residue. And she's brought along some of the contributing authors with her on this afternoon. So listen, y'all, come on. Let's welcome her to the table. We're talking about, there she is. Yes, indeed. And we're going to bring the other authors on. Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
I know. I am so honored to have you here. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm excited. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
I am doing great. Thank you so much. I'm super excited. Let me just say that, all right? I really am. I'm super excited. So listen, y'all, I just got to get with it.
Yeah, well, we're super excited to have you at the table. I honor you. You all, Crystal Cunningham, I know her in the kingdom of God as being a prophetess. She is lettered and licensed, but I know her from Midnight Ministry. Those of you that may not or may remember way before the pandemic, this woman of God would get on faithfully at midnight in social media, Facebook, and I mean, she would preach, pray, prophesy, you name it. And the prophetic came through mightily. Many women, as well as myself, we've watched you, we've honored you, and wow. Is all we can say. And you had a event that was called something about stilettos. Come on, help me with that one.
Had heels and lipstick. Yes, had heels and lipstick.
Yes, indeed. I'm a stiletto girl. I'm your cute older lady in the 60s with the stilettos.
Yes.
Well, come on, talk to us. You've been in the game for a long time.
Yes, I have. And that was an event I did back in 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
I actually had some major celebrities and players that was a part of it. Darren Henson from Stomp the Yard and Soul Food. Dr. Cheryl Woods was actually one of my keynote speakers. And Brashawn Shore, actually from the Real Housewives of New York, actually was on with me too. So I've been in this space for quite some time. I've been in this space for a little while. I moved into the online space, I want to say like around 2014, 2013. Mhm.
Yes, and so here we find you in the literary world, and you are known. You all, I want to share her bio. It is phenomenal. Crystal Cunningham, who is she? She is the CEO of Crystal Clear Communications and Consultant. The executive female Christian coaches for coaches and coach to help teach other coaches how to grow and build their brands and businesses by leveraging anthologies into their business models. So, all of that being said, you're known as the six-figure anthology strategist.
Yeah.
And so, kind of break that down for our audience. What is that? What does that look like? Help us with that.
Well, when I got the assignment, to be honest with you, I thought I was just going to do one anthology, my
Mm-hmm.
own anthology. I had already been in like two anthologies.
Right.
Um, how I got into it was my experience. Like I always say, it's never against, I don't speak against the author, the visionary author, anything, but sometimes processes are not always favorable
Yeah.
to certain people.
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't think that it was very favorable for to be the co-author at the time.
Yeah.
So when God gave me the assignment, because it was literally given to me, it was because of my experience of not having that marketing. So when I talk about six-figure anthology strategists, it's really I'm big on helping with the marketing piece
Yeah.
because you have to strategize that. And one of the things I teach is, even before you write any word, before you put anything on paper, the first thing you should be doing is strategizing your marketing. People don't realize that marketing is the thing that you have to do first
Yes.
because it's the end result that you're looking for. So you want to really kind of hit that firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
really get into your marketing. So when I got it, like I said, I got it because there was a problem. It was like, a hole in the process. And for me, I just didn't have the greatest experience with making my investment back, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I know it was good. It's a great thing as far as anthologies, don't get me wrong. They are phenomenal. But it was that component. And then when I started really kind of talking to other women that,
Yeah.
authors have written their books and also been a part of anthologies, that was the feedback that I was getting is that,
And
I don't want to do anyone.
I totally agree with you. Yes. And so being myself, I'm a six-time best-selling author. But in that, we can say six-time, but there not every experience has been a great experience. But one thing I can say is you're absolutely correct. And that
Mhm.
author world, literary world is really big and it's getting larger. We're finding it, especially in the Christian, in the Christian based anthologies. You've got anthologies that are say they're non-Christian, but because this is our area, this is the area that we are in, we operate in Christian platform and Christian books, inspirational books, things to that
Mhm.
nature, is that we don't look at the size of what do I do when I get my book, and
Yes.
it is continuing. And so I believe that the pie is big enough for all of us. And so for you to those, and I know you're probably like me, is that those that are assigned to us, we will know those that are assigned to us. And where I'm going with this is that to help and to help bring them to that level, as you're saying, to market how, not just to have the book and it sit in a box and then you don't know. COVID hit. There were very few places where you could be a vendor and take
Mhm.
your books. And so, what you have gifted and the ability to do is help other authors that are coming, have been able to be coached by you and are part of your projects. That yes, they're seeing the results, and that's what it's all about. It's not to, and I believe that that's what you're saying as well. You want to make sure that you have a result, an end result.
Yes, definitely. You
Yeah.
want you want to have an end result, and you want it to be favorable for both parties, the
Correct.
visionary author as well as the co-authors, and that's what my goal is to
Yes.
always work for, because I feel like I have the best of both worlds. I'm the visionary author, plus I have the co-authors,
Yeah.
and to be able to be in both of those worlds and be able to help myself and other visionary authors plus the co-authors, it's really like a blessing,
Yeah.
to help them really learn how to market the book and take it further, like you said. Because what I noticed was once the book is published, once you have this book launch, you have the book signing, then
Right.
what? It's like you don't know what else to do with it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's where you really have to start working and pushing the book like we're doing right now. Here it
Yeah.
is. We wrote this book in 2020 and we're still coming on. And this is what I'm
Whoa.
showing even the authors that work with me. This is what you have to continue to do, is put the book in front of people's face and let people know not just the book, your message within the book. What is your brand? What is your message? What was your story? What is your experience? How you can help solve other people's problems. So
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm loving it. Well, today, you all, we have Crystal has brought along the some of the contributing authors with her on this journey and this conversation at the table today. So, listen, I need you to get the word out. As I tell you all, take you are leaders of leaders, coaches of coaches. You have those tribes. So go ahead while we've just had this dialogue. The ladies are going to introduce themselves. I'm going to go ahead and start with the phenomenal Monique Outerbridge. If you will, come on, Monique, and tell us hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monique Outerbridge. I am co-author of the anthology No More Residue, and I am creative owner of Velvet Cake Spike Win. So happy to be here.
So happy to have you. Yes, indeed. And now, Benita Williams Smith. Come on, Benita, and say hi to us.
Hello, my name is Benita Williams. I'm another co-author of the No More Residue anthology, and I'm currently aspiring to complete a life insurance specialist
Okay. All
for
right.
myself. Thank you.
You are so welcome. You're very welcome. And we have Dr. April J. Libson. April, if you will.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. April J. Lisbon, also known as the Content Creation Connector. I am the founder of Run Your Race Enterprises, as well as the TV host of Own Your Ish with Doc April.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you got to talk more about that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have with us the phenomenal, yes, Lady Charmine Castillo. Yes, come on and say hi to us, if you will.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charmaine Roots Castillo. I am a wife, a mother, a freelance editor, and a model. And I am also one of the co-authors with No More Residue.
Absolutely. Well, we are super, super excited to have you all ladies here at the table. Well, listen, let's chat about this book. This book, No More Residue. Crystal, wow, this surprised me. I didn't realize that this book was out in 2020, but here we are 2 years later and we're still talking about it. I definitely do believe that it's a God move, you all, because listen, there are stories in this book. I like what Monique has, you all. I just want to share something because I do a little bit of searching when I and get prepared whenever our guests come to Book Talks with Sandy. Monique, I love what you're saying. Moving past the pain and healing is always a journey. She writes, the courage to tell you your story is the testimony God gives us. So, I want to go to Crystal, but then Monique, I want you to be our first author to come on in and share. Tell us about No More Residue, Crystal. What's the conception of this? How did this come about?
well, this book actually came about when I wound up relocating to North Carolina from New York.
Okay.
And on my journey of sobriety, and once I relocated to this new environment, it was like, okay, nobody knows my past,
Mhm.
nobody knows my story. However, every time I was moving up the corporate ladder or getting ready to make some significant move in my life, I noticed that there would be, I would be self-sabotaging myself. I would always still hear that, um, pretty much the shame of my life will kept appearing, and I would just sabotage a lot of opportunities and not really understanding it until God told me he kind of showed it to me that I had this little bit of residue left of my past that was haunting me. And
Wow.
I couldn't believe that that really was happening. But when I stopped and I took a look at my life and what was going on in my career, especially because I believe that, when we're elevating and we're growing, that's when we start to discover those limited beliefs. We start discovering really what's the mindset that we have. And I didn't realize that my mindset was still like stuck in my past a little bit. It was still that little residue, that little bit of residue. It wasn't a lot, but it was just enough to hold me back. It was enough to keep me where my identity was still in my past instead of my future and my present moment. And I started to notice that once I started to be in leadership in corporate, and talking to different women in that city where I was relocated to, noticed that we were all kind of struggling with that same thing. Once I did the research, it was like, wow, it's our identity, but it's for something from our past that we have not let go. We have not really confronted and dealt with. So the book actually, just to be honest with you, look, can I just be transparent here?
Yes,
well,
go ahead.
I was at an event, I was at a conference, and somebody asked me to be in their anthology. And I just went ahead and did it. I didn't pray about it. I didn't ask God. I just said, oh, this is free. They want me in their book. It was the first time. I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump in.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Go ahead and let's do it, right? So, and she really loved my story because they heard my testimony. So she was like, I really want you in my book. And I was like, okay, great. So I wrote it. And my chapter was called No More Residue. Well, let me just help some of you out here in this audience today. When you are out of alignment, you will be the Jonah in somebody else's boat. You will be the Jonah, and I was the Jonah in her project. She could not get the project off the ground whatsoever. She wound up having to give me the anthology to run the anthology. And then that's when I heard this chapter is not even supposed to be in here. This is supposed to be your book and your anthology. And I had all of these beautiful ladies that had been in like either one of my group coaching programs called Crystallize Your Vision or The Shift. And God told me, he said, I want you to take them into the marketplace. And I was like Joshua, like, how am I taking them into the marketplace? Like, what does this mean? Like, we're not going to go and get no land or anything like that. Well, it clearly gave me the vehicle was supposed to be the anthology and to call it No More Residue, because there was that residue. And when I put it out there, here you have it. These beautiful ladies are here with me today and many more. So that's how we birthed No More Residue.
Well, see, okay, so I'm going to help you all. She's been writing for a minute. And the reason why I came off the camera, because there is another book and I cannot think of it. Let me tell you all, I was flying back. I hated I did. I was new in this you all Facebook timing and all of that and doing my coffee conversations. And I took Crystal's book with me on my trip. So I'm sitting at the airport in Houston and I said, oh, I gotta go live. Y'all, this is me. I gotta go live. And because her book was so juicy. And you all authors, just kind of hold tight because I've been really, I'm telling y'all, this is a circle. So I tried and she was like, oh, you want me to go live now? Oh, listen. Oh, no, listen, y'all. I was catching her off spot. She had no clue, no idea, but it was some stuff in the book. Where I'm going with this is her transparency. Listen, you get it straight, as they say. Listen, we are women of God and we're believers, but we're overcomers. It's like you get it straight, no chaser. And in her book, what's the name of the book? Because right now I can't.
Rise Up in Hope. Rise Up in Hope.
Y'all, Lord have mercy. That's another book. Y'all need to get that one because then you will understand why the no more residue. So all I'm going to say is we're going to put that in the chat. You need to buy that one because you need to understand her story. So transparent. God did a mighty, mighty work with you. And I want you to just tell one thing. You don't have to tell everything, but whatever you want to share, tell that one thing. And then we're going to go ahead and get into no more residue because it's so profound. You leading because you've been there.
Far as telling one thing about
anything that was in that book. Okay, so you all, let me tell you, it was about her new house. It was her house, how she moved. She went for her corporate job. It was just phenomenal things. God did some major, major things. So right now the house is coming to play.
Well, what Sandy's actually referencing is my transition out of corporate when God said it was time to go. It was time to go. He said it's time to leave. Yeah. And that was really, really, really challenging because I had been with them for 20 years. So one of the things that I built my identity off of that. I didn't realize that I was doing that. My identity was wrapped around that because I will give you this. My story stems from drug addiction, teen mom, teen pregnancy, a young wife. It stems from that, but take it back a little further. Some of our households that we grew up in was very dysfunctional. Mine was one of them. So this is where no more residue. This is how me and the ladies are able to connect. And I connect with so many people because I want to just say it like this. I keep it real with people. I'm very transparent. And I notice that is something that holds people back from really being free. And one of the things for me, I wanted to be free. And that's what God was saying. He was like, get rid of that residue. It's time to let it go. And I was so afraid of more of the people that I work with because I was in leadership. I didn't want my team. I didn't want the staff. I didn't want anyone in that new city to know that I had a life that was filled with, that type of activity. I wanted to be like, hey, I'm here in this new city. Yeah. And that's it. And that's, once I really owned it, then now here we are right now. And I own it and I teach other women how to, be bold about it, be confident about it, unapologetic, because it's not your identity at all. It has nothing to do with who you are.
I love it. I love it. Now we're going to thank you so much. And listen, we're going to talk even more. Our audience is out there. You guys, thank you for hanging out with us all the way from the United Kingdom. My dear friend, yes, Yinka Kalani is watching us all the way from the UK. I think it's about 9:00 at night there. But thank you, Yinka, for tuning in. One of our Facebook users, she's saying the discussion is good, the awesome platform. And she said, come on, Houston. I think, hey, Rochelle, how are you? Yes, indeed. And I'm hearing Story Whisperer. Yes, Rochelle, thank you so much for joining. And then we have our phenomenal, I call her my ambassador, Brenda. Thank you always for tuning in. Good afternoon to you as well. Now we're going to hear from one of the contributing authors, Monique, because I came across as I was looking and something that was so profound in what she was sharing in just about being a part of this book project. Go ahead, Monique, and share with us. Each of the ladies, you all, after Monique, we're going to share an announcement, and then we will come on with Charmine will be next. But talk to us about what it means in moving past the pain and healing is always a journey.
Hello, everyone. I'm Monique. Wow. 2 years ago, 4 years ago, Crystal. Interestingly enough, sometimes you don't know that a person has a purpose in a season in your life. And Crystal was that for me. She helped me move past a place where I was just truly stuck, owning a lot of things that I did not need to own as a woman, as a business owner, as a career IT professional. She helped me work through that pain and being stuck in a unhealthy relationship. Um, my journey to get to be a co-author in this book was very unique for me in that I hired Crystal to be my life coach. And we talked about some visions we saw for me. And when we talked about a book, I never thought about an anthology. And when I chose the story Stuck in the Bottle, I really chose it and I wrote it for me, to really tell my story and the pain that I went through and how I saw myself as this person always wanting to do the right thing for other people and not doing the right thing for Monique. And talking about the journey of kind of losing or getting off the beaten path with my journey with God. And through this process, it really helped me to get focused and hone in on myself and really pursue my passion, which is now my purpose, which is Velvet Cakes by Gwen. Without telling this story, I don't think I would be where I am today in my business. So healing is from the inside out. And I encourage everyone that's listening, if you're dealing with something, work through it, heal from it, because you have a testimony.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you connected with Crystal, became one of her clients. She's coached you, and now you talk about being stuck in the bottle. So when we come back around, the question will be, what would you like for your author, what the readers to take away from your story? We're going to talk with Charmine next, but before we do that, you all, I want to share on one of our announcements, one of our sponsors. And so if you will, just kind of sit back and we will hear from one of our sponsors here.
Do you have computer problems? Does your PC have a virus or malware? Or does it need to be upgraded and optimized for better performance? Call Affordable Computer Repair. We will check your system and get it running like new. Are you ready to cut the cord and start streaming but are not sure which streaming device to choose or service to select? Our streaming device setup service will assist you with choosing the best device and the service that works the best for you. Are you in need of a website for your new or existing business? Call us today to get started. We offer a complete website design service to include logo design, business email setup, and SEO services. To learn more about our services, please go to our website.
Thank you. And that is Affordable Computer Repair. And of course, you can find their information on Facebook, Affordable Computer Repair on Facebook page. Now, if you will, come on, Charmine, and just share with us a little bit about your participation in this and how you connected with Lady Crystal.
Well, I tell you, I'm so blessed to have connected with Crystal because Crystal, I've been with her for about maybe 3 or 4 years now. But I initially connected with her in Dallas. We were co-authors on another anthology. And there was just something about her when I saw her that just reeked of confidence. And I was one with low self-esteem, no self-esteem, and I saw it radiating from her. And I knew I was supposed to be connected because I really, really wanted what she had. And that's what's the season I was really praying and asking God about divine connections because I was trying to find where I was supposed to go. And it was a struggle for me because of what was on the inside of me. So I first began her group coaching, Crystallize Your Vision. And I started to get vision for my life. I was lost. I was trying to find my way. I had lost my son a year ago and before I met her. And that was the catalyst to make me want to just get my life together and live my life to the fullest. But I didn't know what my fullest life looked like. I didn't know my life was so full of purpose. So when I connected with Crystal through Crystallize Your Vision, things began to get clearer to me, but I knew there was more. And I knew I was supposed to be connected to her because of her honesty. And she had it is what it is. She's going to say what she means and means what she says, but she says it in love, and she's always led by the Holy Spirit. And for me, that was key. So I connected with her because God sent her to me, really. That's another story. But there was more that I wanted. So then she offered the mentoring program, The Shift. And so there was still something missing in my life. I still hadn't found my purpose, but I could see it now. I just didn't know how to get there. So when she talked about the shift, I wanted to be a part of that shift because I needed a shift. So after I came out of the shift, that's when she started talking about No More Residue, an anthology. And I'm like, I already been in 2 anthologies, and I don't think I need to be with another one. But then she started talking about everything that she was offering as she did her anthology. And I was like, well, maybe one more time, because something deep on the inside of me knew that was going to be it. I thought it was going to be just the book and my story, but I really found purpose as I went through the process of doing this anthology. So it was more than just the book for me. Everything that's come out of it, is just an added bonus. But being divinely connected where you're supposed to be connected was key in my life, and I'm just so thankful that I connected.
Off of mute. Let me take myself off of mute. That is phenomenal. As I was sharing with the ladies, I love it how you made it real clear that, and we know this about Crystal, is that she is led by the Holy Spirit when she operates at that level in her faith. And yes, when the Lord speaks, she is obedient to that. And we've watched her over the years, as I was sharing in the green room, you all that are tuning in with us, Facebook, and you all, we are now streaming live also on YouTube. I have to remember that. Yes, we are on YouTube, and we want to thank our YouTube family for supporting. And those of you that, if you will, go to Coffee Conversations with Sandy and subscribe, and you also can find this interview as well. But one of the amazing things is that we've watched Crystal just, God just do some miraculous things. And really, he connected me with her from seeing her and knowing of her and just watching her grow. And when she would grow, I shared it, and I'm very transparent as well. When she would grow, I would grow, and I would be on those evening meeting calls, and there was some evenings I could not make it, but she was so consistent, very consistent. And so that's one of the things that I love about this woman, is that she's very consistent. And the consistency is because her desire is that we win. That's one of the things, right, Benita? She wants us to win.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
She wants you to win. She wants me to win. She wants all of us to win. And one of the things I love about the fact is that with this book, not that there's no more residue. I think it's clear that all of us, even including myself, I had to overcome alcoholism. That was with me. That was mine. Drugs was it back in the 80s. And I don't know if Crystal ever noticed, back in 83, there it was 83, 84. I was moved to New Jersey. I was living with my aunt and uncle. And back then, in between 84 and 85, there were women in New York that were getting murdered. They were murdered. There was a serial killer. Y'all, I was high as a kite. I used to work on Wall Street in the E.F. Hutton building in Battery Park. And I met a guy. And back then there was not any crack. It was just cocaine. Now it could have been, but I wasn't. It was just straight cocaine. You sniff it and you move on. And I got hooked up with this guy working in Battery Park building. And listen, had I not met my children's father and got married, Lord knows, I really say it's because he saved my life. But you all, I was high as a kite on 34th Street in a hotel. And I remember seeing a hand, and I've become transparent now that I'm able to share it. But I'm like you, Crystal, there was years that I didn't want people to know that I was a drunk driver coming from happy hours, leaving my corporate job, drunk as they say, coup de brown. But there was one time that I did, and I don't know how I got home. So I went from one story to another, you all. Yeah, I was high on 34th Street. Nobody knew where I was at. That's when I lived in New Jersey. Then years later, I moved, and I still got over the drugs of the cocaine, but I had stopped drinking. I had not stopped drinking until one day in a party and in a club, happy hour. Don't know how I got home. I said, whoa. And I prayed. I said, God, take the taste of liquor out of my mouth. And he did just that. But years later, I was standing up, and I'd been now in ministry probably at that time, now about 10 years. And the Lord called me into jail and prison ministry for 8 years. And I found myself standing up at the jail teaching. And I could hear God talking in my ear. And I could hear while I was talking. And he said, this is why you didn't die. This is why you didn't kill nobody. He said, so that you could come to Gulfport, Mississippi and tell your story. So with all of that, you all, I know what it means. Yes, not to no longer walk as Crystal was sharing, to walk in our freedom. So, Benita, yes, we know what it's like. Come on and talk to us. How you doing?
All is well, thank you. Yes, definitely. When
Come
you,
on and talk to us. Yes, indeed.
I could identify with you when you spoke about Crystal from the late night ministry. Even though we go a little bit further because we're from the same hometown, we went to the same high school, but it was the late night ministries that caused me to peek in and peek out. I was playing peekaboo back then, but it wasn't until I finally got the courage to myself to say, you know what, I want more than just peekaboo, and I started with the shift program on how to be an entrepreneur. And it's then where I met the other co-authors, and I heard that we began to collaborate about the different things we were going through. And then, it's then where we was able to we started talking about a story, like sharing our stories. And it was then when I realized, well, what is my story? Like, because I didn't know still then that I had a story. Mm-hmm. But listening to my other co-authors, I used the tools that Crystal gave of self-reflecting. And then that's when I was able to identify, oh, yeah, I do too got a story. But mine is totally different, because I wasn't dealing with an addiction that I could see. This was something that I did not see or did not know I was dealing with. It wasn't until I found out, until I started elaborating, identifying the story with what I was dealing with, to realize that, yeah, I'm dealing with an addiction myself, And so this is why I'm so grateful for Crystal and the No More Residue and my co-authors. Because again, if it wasn't for them being transparent and bold and sharing their stories, it wouldn't have gave me the confidence to think about mine, to think about, the things that I was going through in life, that it was almost similar, but not quite similar, because mine stemmed from way, way back. But this is how I got to the point where I'm at right now. Able to use a voice, where I'm not only able to use my voice, and I'm also I'm desperately want to save souls, trying to still save people. And this is why I have transparent into still wanting to share my story, and whatever else I can do as far as helping someone. But this is how I came about with me.
Wow, that is amazing. The courage. You all, I'm ready to throw my stiletto. If y'all know what, like, you better go ahead. Yes,
Yes, it
indeed.
does.
You just heard from a phenomenal woman. You all are guests, those of you that are listening to our podcast here on Spotify, that yes, you just heard this woman who says that the visionary author caused her to find her voice. Crystal, what does that feel like when you hear women talk about the impact that you're making in their life? How does that feel?
To be honest, it's humbling. I never thought that I would be used in this manner. I'm a one of four children, so I'm the middle child. I really thought, my sister or someone else would be, playing these kind of positions and being in these roles as the authority. I just didn't think that that would be for me. So it's very humbling. It really is. And this is it's humbling and it's inspiring, because I want to show other women that, what, all of the things that you think you don't need. God can use you. I really overlooked myself a lot of time, for a long period in my life.
Mhm.
And that's what God has waken up inside of me, to wake up in other people and to wake up as their voice, that your voice matters. So it's very humbling and very inspiring at the same time. We can't hear you, Sandy. You're on mute.
Thank you. You are a coach, and you coach other coaches. One of the things that I believe it was Lady Benita who said is that you provide the tools, and I believe Charmaine said the same thing. Help us, help our audience, and I think everyone had an opportunity to share about before I begin a Q&A. Has Dr. April, have you shared? Okay, Dr. April. So we're going to go ahead and allow Dr. April is going to come on and share about her chapter and her connecting with Crystal, and then we'll get into some Q&A. Okay, because there are some tools that you gave these ladies some tools, and I'm excited. I want to talk about that, self-reflecting. Come on, if you will, Dr. April. How are you?
I'm wonderful in yourself. So my story is a little bit different from everyone else, because Crystal and I were actually in a group together called the Tribe Effect. And so she was actually my partner. We had one other person who fell by the wayside, amen. But it was necessary because that person was not ready for all that is the Crystal J. Cunningham, okay? So it is through that process that Crystal and I, we really connected, because we were truly business besties in this group. Out of that process, I got to see who Crystal really was. Crystal is really my iron that sharpens iron. And so Crystal will call me out on my BS because she knows that I'm gifted in that arena. And it's because of that I then invested in her Shift program, which was a catalyst for me to realize that there was more to my purpose, more to my life than just being a career professional. And through that process, we then did Crystallize Your Vision, which once again really helped me to get clear of the clutter as far as my mindset and how I view life and my story. And so when Crystal was talking about the idea of creating an anthology, I told God, I said, I'm not writing one more book because I already have books out there, both my own as well as other anthologies. And I said, I have time for this foolishness. And so God basically told me, he said, to sow the seed. If you sow the seed, I will bless you. And so that's what I did. But my intention was not to be in the anthology. My intention was to sow the seed to show her that the book was necessary. And then I was going to go stage left. And God was like, because you've sown, now you have to produce. I said, see, I felt a little bit hoodwinked and bamboozled, but that's okay though. So I'm thankful for that process, because had it not happened, my story would not have been written. I still would have been still in hiding. And because of it, now I am able to share myself authentically with people without the shame. And that's something that Crystal taught us throughout the book process, is that God would not bring shame to our name. And so when I think about my story and where we are right now with the Roe versus Wade, as I told Crystal, I said, you see, 2 years ago, it was necessary for this book to come out, because 2 years later, God knew that there was going to be a major shift in our country. So from that vantage point, I'm so thankful for her foresight, but more importantly, her obedience to hearing the voice of God, as she says, the whisper of God, and for her taking action. So that's how I got involved with No More Residue.
I love it. That is amazing. And so she said something about hood. That's all I can remember. Y'all listen. Those that are tuning in, listen, these are we're just some girls just loving on the Lord and excited about our walk and the fact that there is no more residue. This amazing book, the visionary author of this book is, yes, the phenomenal. We know her as Crystal Communications, but yes, Crystal, we know her as the Midnight Minister. We know her as Prophetess, but she is the six-figure anthology strategist, and we are delighted to have her with us on this afternoon, and she's brought along some of the contributing authors of the book that is called No More Residue. These are stories of women that have been able to conquer some of the challenges and things from their past that have been holding them back. And just as the book says, that there is no more residue, there's no more residue of your past or your past mistakes, and they're walking in their freedom. We're hearing from the amazing Benita this afternoon, who shared about finding her voice, the courage to do that, and the fact that her desire is to see souls saved. I love it. I love it. This, I believe, Crystal, I was coming back with a question of some of the tools as a coach, and one to guide in the anthology, or just they've talked about your shift project. And I heard two words, one word, and I heard it twice, that it's a catalyst. And so let's talk about this. You've set the pathway. It's kind of like you've cleared the forest and you've made a path that women can take this road, take this path to their life of freedom. Come on, share your heart with me. Get your mute. Hold on. Get your mute. Let me unmute you. There you go. Okay. Now.
Okay, now, right? See, when it's so good like that, the enemy be trying y'all, but we gotta keep pressing. Just keep pressing, okay? Keep pressing mute. I mean, unmute yourself. That's what you gotta
do. Exactly.
But it's funny that you said clearing the pathway, because just recently I found me a walking trail in a new place where I live in out in Georgia, right? And the analogy that the Lord had gave me was exactly that. Like it's a walking trail, and the pathway with all of the trees, it's a lot of clutter. And he's like, no, I want you to get on this clear path. And how do you do that? You do that by being authentic and being honest. Okay. That was one of the things that I think that I can pride myself on, is helping women really get clear. And that's why it's No More Residue. We help other women get clear of the clutter, whatever the clutter may be, because I like that Dr. April, her story is a little different than Miss Benita, and Monique's story is a little bit different than Charmine. However, we all can identify with having that little piece of that residue. Yeah. So one of the things I do, and I'll give you these 5 tips, lady, right here. It's called the CLEAR method. The first thing you must do is get really clear about the challenges that you have had. What were those challenges and those obstacles that you faced? Tell your reader, talk to your reader about the specific time when God disrupted your life in that pathway. You understand what I'm saying? And reposition you. Then it's your hero's journey, right? And then talk about the lessons that you learned. What were the top, I say 5 lessons that you learned from that experience? You can always pull out 3 to 5 lessons in that moment, right? And then experience how can you help your reader, equip them, empower them. How can you do that for them and learn from your unique? Because one thing I know is, like I said, we all have unique experiences here. And then what action did you take? What were the first things that you did? You got to be able to talk about that, think about it. What was the first things that you did? So a lot of people kind of overlook that the first thing you got to do is make a decision, right? Make the decision in your mind first, and then you put the action by whatever it is that you need to do in the physical. Then what are the results? What are the results? Let's talk about some, at least three results that you've gotten from doing that, from challenging yourself, and that experience. So when it comes to this book, No More Residue, it's really personal. And it's funny because I don't have a story in here. And let me just say this to you right now. I am so big on what I do, especially when it comes to the anthologies, of really helping the authors. I am big on helping the co-authors. I feel as a leader, one of my things is, if you know who you are, you know what you're doing, you can lay back and you position your authors to come out and for them to win. And that is what I saw here with these women. I want them to win. And they can tell you, I will do whatever I possibly can to help them succeed. Their stories, they not only got stories here, y'all, they got courses as well. When God gives you something, he makes sure you are fully equipped, okay? He makes sure you are fully equipped. They got courses to go along with their chapters, so they can continue on the journey of impacting lives and also making income. Because let's not get anything twisted here, okay? And I said, don't get nothing twisted, is you can't really make an impact without making the income. Come on, somebody. I'm going to pass the plate for myself right there, because you cannot. We need the money to make more of a dent in here. So this book is, when I tell you, I am so blessed beyond what I can even see at times, just to know that I have this opportunity to work with these amazing women. And I know you don't see them all, because some of them are on vacation, unfortunately they have other lives and different things going on, and we'll all be getting together throughout the rest of the year. And I just want you to know that there is more stories. This is just a few of them tonight, but I am so inspired. I am so inspired by Dr. April, when she was like, Crystal, I'm going to trust you here. Charmine said, Crystal, I'm going to trust you to share my story. Monique said, Crystal, I'm going to trust you. Benita said, I'm going to trust you. And I said, don't trust me, trust God.
That's right.
Don't trust me, trust God. Trust the God in me, because I want to give some other women some things that I didn't get. And let me tell you what I call it: the gas. I want to give you the feel that you need, the guidance, the accountability, a safe space, and the support. So I call it the gas. I want to give you that. And that is what I do. I aim for, because I know when you have a safe space, I know that then you will let your guards down. God will be able to start the healing. God will be able to start the delivering that you need on this journey first. When it comes to anthology, or you writing your book, let me just tell you right now, you writing the book, it's for you at first, but then it becomes for the reader. Then it comes for the reader. But God wants to give you something through you writing. He wants to give you what you need first. So I hope and pray that you will have an opportunity like some of these women. There will be a volume 2 that's coming out. We're probably going to get into that in a minute, but don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But this book is very special to me. These women are very special to me. I know we talked, Sandy, before, and it could have been just me and you, but I am the type of visionary that I am about helping my authors, helping another sister rise up, helping someone else get to their next level, helping. That's what this is all about. Empowering, equipping. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm loving it. We all glued. You have no idea. When she speaks, you want to grab your pen. When you want to grab your paper. All of everyone is talking about safe space, support. We're hearing accountability. We're hearing guidance. We're hearing yes, impact to income. And even a hashtag. Y'all better go ahead. Thank you, Rochelle. Rochelle said hashtag impact income. Oh my goodness. Listen, we are in an amazing conversation. You just heard it from the phenomenal, yes, Crystal Cunningham, the six-figure anthology strategist. And as she says, that it is about you, the author. It is about your position and yes, making the income, but it's about the impact and what you're going to do and make the change in the lives of others, and not just put out a book and it not bring in the positive results. That's what is, and it's about a business, but it's also her obedience to God. So it would be safe to say that these women find this a safe space. They find Crystal to be someone that, yes, is credible, that's a woman of integrity, and want to see you win. Want to see you win. I love it. I love it. You all, we are here right here this afternoon having a great, amazing conversation. I am just loving this with the authors of No More Residue. And yeah, she kind of let it out that we can be expecting book number 2. But how fitting. Here we are 2 years later. And it's nothing new in the literary world that they will do re-releases. I'm learning this in the literary world, is that books can be written 2 or 3 years and they'll just decide, it's got a fresh feel. It's kind of like the word of God. You all know when you get a revelation, you read something and you've been reading it all your life, but all of a sudden you can look at it and you get a new revelation. And so it's evergreen. The book is evergreen. We will learn new readers. People will find your tools, your 5 tips. And we want you to go over those 5 tips one more time before we end our broadcast. Well, you all, I got a couple of things I want to share with our audience, if you all allow me to. And we are going to let you know there's a couple of, I've partnered with some upcoming events. And one of the events is with the Faith Out Loud, and upcoming event that is going to be in August the 5th through the 7th. It is the whole entire 3 days will be virtual, starting on Friday evening all the way through. So I would love for you to hear from, these are the speakers that will be taking place. As you can see, 39 days, 15 hours, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. It is absolutely free. All you need to do is go to faithconference.info. Oh, I got that backwards. Faithconference.info, and I'll be putting it in the stream. But we have partnered and with the phenomenal, yes, Miss Dorothy P. Wilson, and these are a couple of the speakers. These are the keynotes that will be speaking, and the theme this year is on purpose, finding purpose after adversity and loss, walking in purpose in ministry, embracing purpose in business, having faith to birth your purpose, cultivating purpose in relationship. And so if you are looking for also an opportunity, there is the register for free, but there also is an opportunity for you to be a speaker or sponsor. So there's different levels, if you will. I'm going to be putting this information in the chat and in the stream. Go ahead and reach over to those ladies in that team, Miss Dorothy, and so that you can, register. And if you're looking to expand your speaking opportunity, it's a virtual event, but it also opens up some visibility for you as well. If you would like more information, just reach out to me. You can DM me. Y'all know how to reach me over on, what is this, Facebook, messaging Sandy Sanders, and I will be glad to get back to you about the speaking opportunities. Okay. And then, yes, and we're going to come back in Crystal. Let's talk about how individuals can get the book. How can individuals get the book, No More Residue? And I'm pretty sure from each of them, do we want to do that, or do you have it on Amazon?
I am so big on pushing them.
Okay.
I want them.
Right,
I would like everybody, like how,
Okay,
put links for everyone in here of where they can purchase your book, because it's a group thing. So put y'all links in the chats, ladies, and let people know how they can purchase the book. They can go on Amazon, but I personally would like it if you could purchase it from one of the co-authors that's here online. I do have some of my authors that was in the project as well that's here, that's also in the chat. They just wasn't able to make it on because some of them are traveling, they going on vacation, they went away, and all the rest of that good stuff. So,
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, and I'm going to put it back up, Monique. And so what I'll do, we'll give them an opportunity. So here is where we are on the takeaways. You all, what would you like for, and we do yield back at the, we're almost at the end of our broadcast, but what we'll do is ask each of the authors to share, what would you like for us as a reader to walk away? What would be a tip? What would be one of the tips that you would like for us to walk away? And I'm going to start with Benita, if you will. Lady Benita, what would be one thing that you would like for me to walk away with after I read your chapter?
I would like for you to just understand that addiction comes in many formats. That unless you pick up the tools to try to identify, you won't know, and just because you don't see that you know what you're dealing with, it don't mean that you're not dealing with something. So yeah, I just want, I want the readers to know that addiction comes in so many devices.
I love it. And it's kind of like when you said pick up the tools. So if I got a toolbox and you've got the hammer, you've got screws, you've got all of that. So you got a toolbox. What I'm hearing you, and we mentioned it earlier, Crystal has provided all of the authors with tools that has now brought you into a place that you're bestsellers. And so that is what you're saying, is that your chapter is going to leave one of those tools to help them, and is to know that addiction comes in different forms. That is especially for someone that I love what you're saying. And here's where I'm going with this. I believe that individuals that are not dealing with addiction themselves, but maybe a family member, and we walk in denial and they're not knowing what signs to look for. Absolutely. That was perfect. What you just said, that was very profound of what you just shared with us, because as you said, addiction comes in different forms.
Yes.
That was good. That was good. Charmine, come on and talk to us. You have my sympathy. You lost your son and you connected with Crystal. What would you want us to walk away with after we read your chapter?
I want you to know, everybody, that there's a purpose for your life. And as long as you have breath, it's never too late to step into that purpose. I was 61 years old when my son died, and I realized, what am I going to do with the rest of my life to make a difference? And so I felt like my story and all of my life's experiences, I can help somebody to avoid certain pitfalls. One of the pitfalls that I stepped in was being a people pleaser, because I cared more about how they felt than I did about my inner peace. but I wanted to be accepted. And when I realized who I was and how strong I was, and that God had a gifting and a purpose for my life, things changed for me. But I didn't step into that real change until I connected with Crystal to help me get on track. So I thank her for helping me to get on track. But my message for all the people are, find out what pleases you, because if you please other people before you will miss that inner peace. You will miss your purpose. You will be sad because you're not being who you were created to be. And so now that I've found that place, I have the courage to speak about it. Before, I had no courage because somebody might not like what I said, but now it doesn't matter. I'm on point now, and I'm going to talk about it.
I love it. Purpose for your life. Overcoming. Yeah, people, that's a whole conversation right there. Being a people pleaser. And it's good to know that we find out that we're not all by ourselves. When we find out, you deal with that too, girl? Yeah. Come on, we no more. Yes, indeed. Monique, if you will, come on. What would you like for us to walk away with after we read your chapter?
I would like readers to walk away with a heart of forgiveness for yourself. Know that it's never too late to start over. Give yourself the opportunity to grow and really be the authentic you, show up as you. This telling my story really helped me to open up and blossom and really pursue the one thing that had been on my heart, which was Velvet Cakes by Gwen. I have a slogan that I always keep in my head that helps me stay focused, and I'm going to share it in hopes that it helps someone else. Always keep seeking new opportunities. Keep believing and keep elevating to achieve your purpose in life, because we all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And getting unstuck helped me really with my purpose, and that is my testimony.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I'm just steady writing. Heart of forgiveness. Never too late to start over. Be authentic and always seeking. And I stopped because I just wanted to hear everything what you had to say. So I'm going to go back and look at the replay because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to miss this. But
In short, I felt, yeah.
Yeah. And not being stuck. I like that part right there. Thank you so much. Dr. April, come on. What would you like for us to walk away with?
Yes, ma'am. So my takeaway for the readers or just for the listeners right now is that you have to realize and understand that your story does not end with you being on the table. Your story can be transformed and changed when you choose to forgive yourself for decisions that you've made. You have the ability to create a new narrative for yourself, not based on who you were, but who you will be and who you are at this moment in time. So understand that even the decisions that you have made may not have been the best in that moment, but it was the best that you had. So forgive yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself, love in yourself, and more importantly, forgive yourself, because the reality is we all have an opportunity to get back up if we choose to not allow our past to dictate our present and determine our future.
I'm loving it. Yes, she says, yes, April, today I decide. I'm loving it. It is always important, Lady Crystal, is that whenever we have this opportunity, this is our platform, this is our first fruit to the Lord, because when I became an author, I didn't know how to get my book out. I didn't know what to do. I didn't. And I was already doing coffee conversations with Sandy. And it was like, okay, Lord, he said, well, you're already talking to people. You're already doing it. So why not? And Karen Crockett Cherry saw me, and I was in the second anthology, and she said, you have a show, Sandy. And I was like, I do. Yeah. I was like, I didn't know I had a show. She said, yeah, you do. And it was my first fruit to the Lord. And from there, God has breathed on it. And for that, we are humbled. And I just love it how God just shows up every time. And is that our authors that come on, you're making an impact in the earth. And not only are you making an impact, but you leave a footprint. And what do I mean by that? Is that you leave a footprint knowing that you're placed in the earth, you're making an impact, you're changing lives, you're changing the mindset of people. When they leave our audience, they leave our table, our virtual table, they leave changed. And that is so just humbling experience whenever we get the reports. And so we're thankful for that. You all, we are listening to, we've had a discussion, or our laughter, our cries. We've had the ugly cry behind the scene. Y'all just didn't see me, but I was just, yes, I was. But anyway, with the phenomenal, yes, Crystal Cunningham, the visionary author of this amazing book that is called No More Residue. You certainly want to reach out to these amazing authors and the visionary author as well. To get this book in your hand and allow it to change your life, allow it to pick up one of those tools out of the toolbox that each of these ladies and the others will be sharing in this, I believe, a book for such a time as right now. And the scripture says, just for such a time as this, and it's a much needed book. And yes, so what we're going to do is yield back, as we always do, to allow the visionary author to have the last words. I do want to share one more thing with you all, but it will be after Crystal comes and just shares her heart with us, and if you will, and then we will do one more announcement. And then we'll be ending our broadcast. So if you will, my lady.
Okay. So what I'm hearing to share with you is what I love about anthologies, and I didn't see it until I started working in the project, was our stories are so significant. Excuse me, but our stories are so significant. They're like the Bible. And that's what the Lord told me, was that our stories are extensions of the Bible. Because sometimes when people are reading the Bible, they don't think that those stories or those moments apply to today. So our stories are extensions of the Bible. And to be chosen to have an extension and to make that impact in the world, even after we leave, I am even more humbled today. And one of the things I teach I teach authors, the authors that work with me, is to create their signature stories. Our stories are just like how we hear about the woman with the issue of blood. We can always, like some of us that really read our word, and in our word, we might not remember all the names, but that story you remember, because it's something about that story that you can see yourself in. So when our stories in this book, and I want you to grab a copy, No More Residue. These stories from all of these authors in here, I'm pretty sure you can find yourself in their stories. You can find yourself in that moment. You can identify with the emotions. If nothing else, I tell people this, is you might not have done the same thing, but you know how it feels to be rejected, abandoned, shameful, guilt, jealousy, envy. You know those feelings, okay? So our stories are meant to leave a mark on this earth. So I want to encourage you today, and I hope through all of what you have heard from some of the authors that are on with me today, they have been brave, they are bold, they are fearless. And I am so humbled to even be a visionary author and be in their space and to help them share those signature stories and get those stories out. And God wants your story out of you. And I'm going to leave you with this because this is something that he showed me. Your story can work for you or it can work against you. Let me tell you how it can work against you is when you hold it. When you hold it on the inside, it will start eating away at you. When your story is to be a blessing for you and for others, and when you release it, do you know at that moment you have just now put your foot on the enemy's head? You get to stand tall and tell it with your head held high. I tell people all the time, yeah, I was the one that did the drugs. It was me. Oh no, it wasn't no that person next door. It was Crystal that did it. Why? Because I want you to see that there is no more residue, that God has made me over. I am crystal clear. I'm free from all of that. And this is the more that he promised me. And he got a promise for you too. When he said that there is more to your life, take him up on it. Your story matters. And don't let nobody tell you anything different.
Your story matters. Come on, y'all. Give it up. Give it up. Yes, indeed. We have just heard from the visionary author herself, Crystal Cunningham. If you would like to reach out to her, visit her website, which is crystalcunningham.com. You can also find Crystal on Facebook as well as Instagram, but you're more on Facebook. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. More on Facebook. You can find her and also instant message her if you would like to have Crystal to guide you and you've got the tools and you just don't know what to do with them. They're all over the place, but we need to bring them all into one box. Then, hey, this lady will definitely help and guide you in that way. Well, we are on the journey. We're on the road of almost ending. We have one more interview, and this interview, listen, you all need to mark your calendar. You've marked your calendar. You set the time clock for this one, and I promise you, what is going to happen on Tuesday night is even the more it gets better. Okay, it gets even better. So on Tuesday, we will be with Dr. Monique Flemings. They just hit the #1 bestseller, visionary author for the book that is called Brilliant Minds of Black Men. This book has the forwarding. The forwarding author is Dr. Matthew Stevenson III. I want to say he's the second. And so these men that you see graced here will be at our table, at our round table of discussion. Yes, we're giving it up. The men are going to bring it on. And you have the phenomenal, yes, Mr. Andre Folks. Yes, Coach Evan S. Brown, Pastor Marvin W. Kirkwood, Robert Marshall Jr., Patrick Tyler, Gerald Pace, and Mr. Walter B. Williams. And just to give you all a glimpse, if you'll go on and find Dr. Monique Fleming, she's had individual interviews with these amazing men of God. And so we honor her. And I'm so glad that she will be back with us again with this anthology. And I also will have a guest male co-host with me on that evening. So surprise, and we'll let you know who that might be. But listen, it has been an amazing Sunday afternoon. These ladies on the East Coast and some on the West Coast on the Central time zone with me here as well. I'm so delighted that they are with me on today. And listen, let's not forget our sponsor, which is Swag Her Magazine, a media and media news company for Black empowerment and culture lifestyle publication. They embrace life together, inspiring and uplifting each other as a whole. So do go to Swag Her Magazine, and you can find them on Facebook, Instagram as well. They are our sponsors. Well, this is Sandy Sanders. As always, it is a delight. I'm so thankful to the phenomenal Crystal Cunningham, visionary author of No More Residue, Dr. April. Yes, Lady Benita. Yes, the phenomenal Charmine and Miss Monique. And I'm telling you all, give it up. These ladies have been phenomenal. And yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. And it has always, and you guys know, listen, if you're listening to the replay, and I want you all to really share this out. Share this out. If you know someone that's been saying, I got a story, I just don't know what to do, reach out to this amazing woman of God. And I promise you, you will not regret it. I am Sandy Sanders. And as always, you guys know that I love you. You all have a blessed evening. Hang out with me, ladies, if you will, just for a second. And we're going to say good afternoon and enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon if you